now listening to back-to-back hip-hop. You are now listening to back-to-back hip-hop.
What's up, everybody? I'm Andy Alessio, and welcome to the latest edition of the Back-to-Back Hip Hop Podcast. On Skype with me is California artist Forrest. So how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing, man?
Dude, I'm just excited that this is happening. I can't say it enough. Your music is not only dope as fuck, but it's just extremely relatable, and I love that.
Oh yeah, gang shit, bro.
Dude, of course, man, for sure. Now let's get right into it. Looking at your Twitter, there's a tweet that says, "Our current reality is a mirror of what's going on inside us. At this point in your life, what's going on inside of you, and how is that reflected in current reality?"
I think when I say that our current reality is like what's going on inside us, is like you think a lot about like what makes you sad, and I have these realizations when I'm by myself. I'll kind of stare off into the distance and I'll be like, I'll realize I'm making myself sad, and I'll be like, yo, get the fuck out of that mood. And I saw that post somewhere, and it really resonated with me, and I was just like, you know what, like I'm making myself sad sometimes, and I kind of just need to like accept reality for what it is. That's kind of where I was coming from when I posted that. I was trying to like just kind of embody that we kind of need to realize, we kind of need to check ourselves from time to time on like how we're thinking and our patterns.
So obviously, when you think of situations that have brought pain in your life, the first thing that comes to mind is through a relationship.
Definitely, yeah. Like relationships can like consume the fuck out of somebody, and in my case, this past 3-year relationship was really influential on me.
Influential in what way?
I kind of learned how to put somebody before myself in a way, and I had never done that before, and so you could really hear that in my music, that it's kind of wounded and helpless and kind of just asking for help and for care in some tracks, such as in Too Hurt to Say and Forget Forever.
Dude, well, and I feel like too, I can feel that emotion, that sadness, and more importantly, that pain in almost every track that you make. Like the relatability and emotional connection is so there. And what I appreciate about you the most is the fact that you realize that it's okay to be vulnerable and emotional when talking about those things, because that's human nature.
I guess I've just learned to embrace not like going away from masculinity, but just kind of accepting that, you know, we're all here, and like we're all so fucking similar. There's no reason for us to just be like, yo, you have to be this way and you have to be this way. We have to be uniform. Like everybody can be different. Everybody's unique, and we all have our own qualities and shit. So yeah, like I think that in a lot of my songs, the overlaying theme of sadness is kind of just my overlaying theme of my view of the world.
Now, does that specific girl who you speak of, you know, basically in every song, does she listen to your music?
That's the thing. Okay, so like I try to communicate to her and tell her how I'm feeling, or I would in the relationship, and she would not listen to my music. She's the type of person to like skip forward in the track to get to the lyrics, and then, you know, already in doing that you miss the whole vibe of the song. And so no, like I love her, but she definitely doesn't really receive what I'm saying in my music the way that I want her to, and the way that I put my emotion into the music, like trying to communicate to her. You know, she doesn't get it.
But at the end of the day too, I feel like you're creating this music in reference to her, more so for you than for her.
Exactly, yeah. This is definitely more of an outlet for me, and then finding people that relate to me as well by like posting this shit on the internet has definitely, you know, it's definitely got my mind off of her. And that's why I make music, is to just focus on me.
And I can't say it enough, man, because you're so willing to put yourself out there. That's the reason why you're one of the most relatable artists in the game, and it's so recognizable. And I think our friend Young Bambi said it best when he tweeted, "I really listen to Foreign Force every day. Like, that guy's music has helped me more than he'll ever know." And I completely agree with him, and I can so relate to that, in that it's just nice to have an artist talk about things that we go through on a daily basis.
Definitely. Shout out to Bambi, dude. That's a fucking brother right there. Like, he's helped me in a lot of shit. Shout out to Midnight Society. I think the best part about making music and being on the internet is doing collabs and making friends with other artists, because you find people that are in similar situations to you, and we kind of network, and it's really an online community of friends. So shout out to him. And yeah,
I kid you not, whenever I reference Young Bambi to anybody on this podcast, the first thing they say is, that's my brother. Like, for real. You're not the first person to say that.
yeah, Bambi's real, bro. Like he looks out for other people.
Dude, he really does. If only his pitcher game was a little better. Because he gets a lot of hate and his ad-libs.
Yeah. Yeah, me and my friends do that shit everywhere, dude. We'll just be fucking around, like skating down parking garages in LA. We'll just like hear the echo, screw, screw, screw.
I'm with it, man. Now, obviously, a lot of your music is centered around pain. But ironically, you feel the need to feel pain at times because it wakes you up. So in what way?
Pain stings, and like you kind of have to reassess your situation every time somebody fucks you over. You know what I mean? Like you kind of reevaluate, like, does this person care about me? Like, what are my interests? What are their best interests? Are they looking out for me? And pain wakes you up to that type of shit. And so in my own life, I've had a lot of realizations, like especially in the past like 6 months, being single and like dealing with, you know, getting out of a 3-year relationship and then becoming friends with my ex again, and then also finding myself in music and expressing my experiences through music. So the pain that I've been through has put me on a path, and, you know, I guess you guys are going to see more music coming from it.
Was it hard to learn how to be friends with a significant other?
Yeah, because like in the end, I was just like wanting to be with her, and even though she was fucking me over, I was just like, shit, like this was my best friend, yada, 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 you know, sad relationship shit. And eventually I kind of just woke up and I was like, you know what, like I want this person in my life, regardless if I'm with them. And we are the greatest of friends. Like we relate on a really good level. But I don't know, I think without labels and shit, it's just a lot easier to be humans with each other. So it's been tough, but it was definitely worth it.
Dude, first of all, I really respect that, you know, you're able to do that, because personally I have a hard time to, you know, still be friends with exes, just because I feel like that attachment standpoint, and one where the other is always going to be there, and you're still going to leave the other person hurt.
I know, yeah. It's a war zone, dude.
Dude, I think war zone really describes it best, and it's not just a war zone with the other person, but it's more so a war zone within your heart.
Yeah. That's good, bro.
Dude, I literally thought the same thing. That's really good. We can get deep on here, man.
Let's go.
But so is it hard for you to, so when you create this music, what situations of the relationship do you think of that ignites, you know, this sadness coming out?
I look at my own reaction, because in the relationship there's some things that I want to say that I say and they just do not get through, and I'll just be like, fuck, like how else can I put this shit into the world and express myself to where people understand me? Because obviously she doesn't, and making music helps that. So I think that, like, what I think about when I make music is the memories mostly, and the good times, and then how they get all fucked up, and then I just express that shit.
So that's what you mean by originally when you make a song, you always try to make it happy, and then it turns sad, because you speak of those memories, and then once you talk about the tragedy aspect, that's where the sadness comes in.
Exactly, like it's inevitable.
Dude, I like that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But ironically, even though this music is sad, it makes you as the creator happy.
In a way, I'm still pretty fucking sad, like, but it definitely brings me satisfaction that people are relating to like my situation, and that there's other people out there. Because like when I make fans and they reach out and shit and they become friends, that's exactly why I'm on the internet, is to make friends.
Well, and I feel like too, when you're able to connect to another person, you know, beyond just the music aspect, that's really when the fan becomes a friend. And that's how it should be. Like, what you're doing through your music, Force, is you're educating friends on your relational experiences and allowing them to have an outlet to turn to when trouble happens in their relationships.
That's dope. Hell yeah. And it's kind of like I don't even realize that. It's because I'm just doing my own thing and like just putting that out there. And it's just a result of it. It's really fucking cool to see. And damn, I'm just really grateful that people listen. That's fucking awesome.
Dude, that's how I feel about the podcast, in that when I converse with just an artist, we're not talking as like an artist and like as an interviewer. Like, we're talking as friends, and like this is, hopefully an outlet for someone to reveal their story to someone else that's beyond music, like fully, like to get them to know each other like on a human level.
Yeah, like you put everything about yourself into the music, and if you don't, it sounds inauthentic and it sounds fake, and you can tell when people make that type of music.
Dude, exactly, man. And literally, like, at the end of the day, what I think, like, the rap culture struggles with is authenticity. And I feel like, fortunately, this emo rap genre of realizing that it's okay to be emotional has really surpassed that, in that vulnerability is in the forefront.
Exactly. I agree.
And that's what you do so well, is you're not afraid to reveal yourself. But were you always like that in your music, like, early on?
Nah, like, I think I was more storytelling based, like when I was writing songs, because I was always making really themed music, but then I kind of started going into my experiences and shit and putting that into the music. And when I started doing that and I started getting a reaction of people that went through the same exact stuff, I kind of started realizing, like, you know what, this might be my lane. And then that's when I dropped the song Heart Stained Wrist Icy on Astari. Shout out to him, he's my fucking brother. That's when I really started getting a reaction out of people, because that song, when I made it, my ex recorded that music video for me, and she did all the camera work, and I just did it on my iPhone real quick, some like shitty little video. I didn't really think anything would come, but now it's like 200K, and I'm like, what the fuck? And it's still going, and I'm realizing like there's people out there that are like going through the same exact shit. It just blows my mind.
Now, early on, what was your music centered upon? Because you mentioned themes, so obviously it didn't sound like it was necessarily personal experience. So what other themes were there?
Well, I do a lot of like nature themed songs. Like, I did this EP called Zen Garden, and obviously like I made this one track called Lily Pad, and I would do songs according. I would find beats that would make me feel a certain type of way, and then from there I would write about lyrics about a certain thing. And it was kind of like pre-done. It was kind of acted in a way. And that was like the foreign forest aspect of me, is that like it was kind of me trying to find myself and finding what music I wanted to make. And that's the reason I dropped foreign off of my name. Now it's just Forest, because I kind of just want to show people that it's just me now. It's just Forest, and like I'm putting my experiences into my music, and it's not something that I like pre-thought of or something. It's just expressive.
Well, I wouldn't even just say that you're turning your experiences into music. What you're doing is you're basically making your experiences the music, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So going back to the foreign forest aspect, obviously, I mean, that originates from your love of animals. So how did, Forrest become such an animal lover in the first place?
Well, you already know this. Like, I love my dog Pepper. I've had her since, I think I had her for like 9 years. And with this dog and raising her, I kind of, I taught her how to be really empathetic, and she's just got the sweetest eyes. And throughout talking to her, she's kind of really been receptive to human language. And I taught her how to do hella tricks and shit, and she's just become my best friend. When I'm sad in my relationship, she comes and cuddles me. And I think it's just really important, like, to have a being there. I think dogs help with depression, and if you're ever feeling lonely and you just can't find somebody to make you feel the way you want to feel, an animal, don't be weird with it, but like, just but like, get an animal and like be its best friend. It's definitely good for depression.
Dude, people need to realize that there's seriously nothing like pet cuddles, regardless of whether it's a cat or a dog, because the way you feel with your dog is the way I feel with my cat.
Yeah, you got a cat, huh?
Dude, I do have a cat, man, and he's a little baller. We got him Yoda ears.
Yo.
So, like, he's been wearing that shit. It's hilarious.
That's what's up. I love cats, bro. Cats have a different vibe than dogs all around. Like, they're just so loungy and laid back.
Dude, very, very laid back. But at the same time, too, like, my girlfriend was describing this. Cats' love is like, it's not unconditional like a dog. Like, it has to be like feeling cuddly to cuddle, whereas dogs will just cuddle regardless.
Exactly. It's not like a loyalty thing.
Dude, exactly, man, exactly. And I feel like that relationship with a dog from a loyalty aspect can really translate better into a human relationship than a cat can.
Definitely. But it's pretty cool to see the other species and how they react.
Oh, dude, absolutely. Now, don't you teach, what kind of tricks do you teach your dog? What about this stairway to heaven thing?
Oh yeah. Okay, so I was high. Okay, so I get high as fuck, and I make my dog do crazy shit. So one day I was in my kitchen, and I got in my dining room, and I got all my chairs, and I made this little stairway to heaven to the top of my fridge, and I was like, Pepper, up, until she got all the way to the top of the fridge, and then I just gave her like a treat, and I've like made her do roll over and play dead, and like she can dance and shit, and she's really smart. When I talk to her and stuff, she kind of realizes like what I'm saying. I'll be like, Pepper, you need to go to bed. She'll go straight to bed. She catches like every single catch. I mean, like I've never seen a being this smart.
Have you ever seen the movie Dodgeball?
Yeah, I love that movie. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Dude, please tell me at some point or another you've yelled at Pepper needs new shorts.
I have not done that, but I'm Pepper!
Dude, yes, you really need to start saying that, because that phrase is instantly what I think of when anyone uses the term Pepper. Now, when you're not hanging out with Pepper, you're freeing animals at a circus, right?
Yeah, okay, so I made this dumbass little video on iMovie, and I was just like messing around. We were in this suburban area at a park, and they were having this circus. And you do not see circuses in suburban areas like this. It was just weird, because you're going to see like, they had like tigers in cages and shit. And so one day I had my video camera on my iPhone, and I was recording myself kind of doing like a fake news interview about me freeing the animals. And this dude at the carnival walks up, and he's like, you can put whatever narrative you want on this. We're not harming the animals. This is a 100% safe carnival. And we were just like, dude, calm the fuck down. Like, we're just making a video. And he got all like, and I see him the next day at Starbucks. He's like, oh, you're that one kid. And I'm, yeah. So it was pretty weird experience.
Just the fact that suburban circuses exist makes no sense to me.
Definitely weird. They're just trying to cash out. I feel it though. I feel it.
Dude, exactly. I mean, it's really all about cashing out at the end of the day. But what I love about that video, too, is, of course, that you're wearing sandals. Now, I hate sandals. No offense. But I feel like you make that style a little more stylish.
Bro, in California, it gets hot as shit, and your toes sweat, and you need to get some air. And ever since I found Birkenstocks, I was like, damn, these things just like, I feel like Jesus. So you got to rock some Birkenstocks. But I approve of flip-flops, too.
Dude, you got the hair like Jesus, too.
Yeah, dude. The hair is basically the only thing I got that makes me feel somewhat pretty.
And like you said, too, you look pretty, but you also feel pretty numb.
Exactly. It's like there's an image on the outside, and then there's a situation going on the inside.
Dude, and what I love about that, too, is, I mean, that situation is always addressed in your music. Just from like the work ethic standpoint too, I feel like no matter how many projects you release, that situation is going to be addressed in a completely vulnerable way. And I find it just really ironic too that people are tweeting that you're about to release like your 17th project. So why are you always working the way you are?
I kind of just get this itch when I don't make music, and I don't really know where it comes from, but I just cannot fucking sit without making music, because I have to express myself, and I try to talk to people, and I stutter a lot, and I just can't communicate, and this is the only way that I can. And so I feel like that's the only way I could talk to people, and I can't be quiet. So that's why I make so much music, I guess.
Well, and it's not just that you're making the same music over and over again about the same subject, because you have the ability to express your feelings about, you know, your relationships in multiple dimensions in that acoustic projects like Differently, which I love, more melodic singing music, as well as just the fact that you can rap. And I feel like your rapping ability is really underlooked. Like, people don't realize that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't know that before I was a singer, I was a rapper. I had no idea that I could like sing and do melodic stuff. I started out in like 8th grade when I was writing in my, you know, those notebooks that are like white and black and they're all like grainy looking, those composition notebooks. Yeah, I was writing rhymes in those, because I used to I went to Christian school, and so I was doing all of these assignments to where you had to like make songs or like videos for like theology or whatever. And that's kind of what got me into making music and like writing music down and lyrics. And so I started making funny songs, and I was really comedic at the time. I watched a lot of fucking like MTV and Comedy Central, and I was just trying to make funny stuff. So I would do it at high school eventually, and from there I kind of started building like my ability to rap and the cadence, and I had a lot of other aliases where I was able to practice and get like reactions from people and see what worked and what didn't work. And Foreign Forest is kind of like my latest project, and that's me now. And I think that what's cool about my music is that it's really a live reaction. Like if you listen to my music from previous, like from the past, and it sounds like it's from the past and it's my past experiences. But when you listen to music that I dropped like a day ago, you're going to be basically getting my emotions live and like who I am that day. And so my music kind of does that for me. It kind of just speaks for me when I don't have to talk on social media or some shit.
Dude, you don't see that very often because you have some artists who wait 2 or 3 years to release a song or a project, and I feel like the emotions that were created specifically for that music aren't relevant as they were back then. And I love that you're able to create that live reaction.
Yeah, like me and all my friends work really hard. We make lots of fucking music. I think that's different from a lot of the mainstream artists that make like a project a year, 2 projects a year. Shout out Frank Ocean. But just making those 2 projects, yes, they're fucking amazing. But like he could have, I don't know, like it's kind of weird because I like to make music a lot. And I just have to communicate so much. And then you see other people that are kind of restrictive and they want to only convey certain types of things. And I get that. And so maybe I just don't have a grip on the understanding of it yet. But I mean, like, I don't know how people don't just put everything into their music and not just some things.
First of all, it doesn't surprise me that you listen to Frank Ocean.
Yeah, I love his music. Like Nostalgia Ultra was my favorite. Dust on that project is my favorite track.
Dude, Self Control off Blonde will forever be my favorite song.
Yeah, White Ferrari. That's a good one.
Yes. Now, so let's talk about the Differently acoustic project, because obviously, I mean, that's different than anything you've released. And I just found that to be the most powerful, both sonically and musically, because of the acoustic decision. So why that? And how'd that come to be?
So back when I made my song Shine, I sampled this producer on YouTube. I just YouTubed, I looked up on YouTube. I was like, math rock guitar riffs. And this one kid was playing this guitar riff and I really loved it. And I was like, damn, I could really flip this and make this into like a beat if I sampled it. So I did. And he hits me up and he's like, hey bro, like I'm that kid that you sampled. Like I really want to make more music. And so his name is No John. I think his real name is John Chaco. He's a really cool dude. And we ended up talking through the Twitter DMs and he'd send me one instrumental and then I'd get on that and he'd send me the next one. I'd get on that. And it turned out to be like we have this project. And then I ended up extending them because they're pretty like short 1 minute, 2 minute songs. And I was like, I want to get more. I hit up a lot of my friends and they were going to get on it. But I kind of had a time frame for this because I wanted a fall project. And I have an itch to just record and make way more music than just this one acoustic EP because there's so much other styles and other stuff that I want to convey. And so when I dropped this, I kind of just wanted to communicate to my fans that I have the ability to show a softer side of me without having to have such construction on the beats. And I kind of wanted to have something more raw. And John Chaco was really able to convey the emotions that I wanted to with the acoustic samples that he sent me. So shout out to him. So that project was really influential to me.
Well, and I feel like, too, regardless of the production, your music is always going to be considered soft and raw solely because it's emotional as it can get about real-life experiences.
Yeah. Yeah, I always try to put myself out there.
And what I love more than anything is the fact that you can jump from a completely acoustic project straight to a 3-track EP that's produced by Laderick that just completely shows your versatility as an artist.
Yeah, Laderick is dope. He hit me up in the Twitter DMs, and this fool was like, yo, let's make an EP. And I straight up was just like 3 letters, BET. I was like, bet, bro, let's make this shit. And so he sends me this beat pack, and he's like, yo, let me know. And so it takes me like 3 days. Actually, no, I think it took me like a week. That shit, I could not write to it. And I was like, damn, I have to do this, though. Like, this is a major link, and like, these beats are beautiful. But you know when you hear a beat similar to like Clams Casino or something where it's just so constructed and beautiful that you just don't want to ruin it with vocals? I was just trying to like figure out how not to ruin this beat. And I just did whatever I could on them. And I really knew that I wanted to go over this Lil Tim Burton theme because I love all of his work. It's kind of dark and dreary, and Sweeney Todd and like a lot of other things that he's made have really influenced me watching them growing up. And so I wanted to kind of have that dreary feeling. And one of the tracks on there, Corpse Bride, that's the favorite one that I have on that EP. Was a really fun one to make because it's kind of like I'm talking about a ghost, like a dead girl, and it's kind of symbolic of the girl that was in my past relationship or the one that I loved the most compared to like what it is now. So yeah, that EP was a really cool link for me, and he was a really down to earth dude. Shout out to him.
Now, I mean, so the whole reason why you surround yourself with people like LaDerrick or SmrtDeath or our boy Max Wells or just Midnight in general too, the whole idea of that is just to help you become a better person too, right?
Well, it's not like I do it for a certain reason. It's just like I kind of met them on my journey to where I am now, and like those are the people that have stuck with me, and I've stuck to them. They have a really drawing quality to them, and I trust all of these people, and trust is a big thing in my life. Like if I trust you, then there's certain things that I will share with you. And when I make music, I'm kind of trusting everybody to get where I'm coming from. But with my music friends, it's a really rare experience. When we meet up in LA, those are the best times. Like when I met with SmrtDeath or Max Wells, we always record and do dope shit. Saint Petray, he's really dope too. We always make music in LA. So that's what I really like about LA too. Even though I'm based out of Bakersfield, I always make the commute there because there's so much opportunity and so many things to do there, and so many people meeting up in one spot. And some just like Goth Boy Click, how all of them hang out in LA. Me and my friends do similar. So
now let's talk about Smart and Max in particular. What aspects of them, both as just people and artists, what aspects about them as a whole draw you in?
I think both of them do the same as me in a way that they kind of convey their experiences and their life and put it into their music. And they do it in different ways. SmrtDeath does it in a way that is just so beautifully done. I mean, this dude, I know you've seen him. He's a fucking beautiful ass dude. He has red glowing hair. He's got a new tat every single week that's badass. Like, this fool's awesome as fuck, and I admire that about him. And then I have Max, this fool with dreads. Like, he's giving me these positive vibes every time I hang out with him, and we're always making the best music. What I love about Max is that every time we'll be like freestyling, or somebody will be constructing a beat right in front of us for us, and we'll just like, it could be a dance hall, it could be anything, and me and Max will just find a flow and freestyle on that shit. So I'd say that Max is probably like my best friend in this music shit. He's a real one.
We've talked about this before, but Max is like super intelligent.
He's very intelligent. He's got a grip on reality, that fool. I mean, he's been through some shit.
Yeah, well, obviously you have too, and I feel like, from that standpoint alone, that's how you guys are able to connect.
It was kind of interesting how in our relationships, Max and his girl compared to me and my ex-girl, we kind of had polar opposite relationships. Like, I was kind of the undermined one in my relationship with my ex, and his girl was kind of like the undermined one in a way. And it was kind of like cool to get his perspective on his relationship, because it was almost as if I was seeing where she was coming from with her perspective on her relationship. I'm talking about my ex. And it would just give me a different perspective. And it's really cool that I'm able to open up to this dude and like talk to him, because he's my brother and I can tell him anything. So shout out to that fool.
One, I feel like too, through Max basically, serving as an outlet to represent your ex, as weird as that sounds, I feel like that is a way where you can come to terms with what happened in the past. Yeah,
like I wake up every day and I think differently, and I think like some days I'm sad, some days I'm happy, but at the end of the day, you just have to realize that your situation is your situation. You have to fucking put up with it. So if you're going to just hate yourself all day, then you're going to have a dreary day. But if you can, I'm just learning this, like if you can come to terms with a lot of the shit that you deal with and you just embrace it and you tell yourself, you know what, this happened and this makes me this way now because of this, and you grow. So I guess like growing is the most important part about like breakups and taking space from your loved one and learning who you are.
Dude, absolutely. And I think that growth shows through the fact of just the vulnerability of the music, and I keep saying that, but you releasing your thoughts and expressions through your music shows that you're coming to terms with what happened in the past.
Yeah, definitely.
Now the question is though, is how can you grow from that and take that to the next level?
I guess it's just going to be a journey, seeing where I go in life. I want to move to LA soon, get a little place with Max Lund, Max's brother. That would be a goal. I want to make some music with my friends. I want to tour a little California tour. I want to do a show in Portland, Oregon. I really wanted to get on this show in Japan, and I want to do all of these things and make music during all of these things. And I want people to hear the differences, not in the fact that I'm talking about where I am in my music, but it's just how it's influencing me. And it's like, wow, I could be in Portland, Oregon, and I'm making a folk or like EP or some shit like that, and you'll be able to hear that. So I guess I'm just going to convey different things as I go on.
Dude, I feel like too, as you convey different things as you go on, you're going to accomplish that goal of just searching and finding a full and clear heart. Because let me tell you, like, you have the mindset like to achieve that, and most people don't.
Yeah, I mean, I really want a clear heart. I want to be able to eat 3 meals a day with this music shit. I want to be able to pay my bills and just travel where I want to and live the life that I want to and be content with the simpler things, but at the same time have what I need to do what I need to do. And at the end of the day, that's why I do this music stuff, is to convey how I feel and to make more music and to up my resources to do so.
You're so fucking wise, man.
Thanks, bro. I'm high as fuck. I just ate a whole pizza. Like, damn.
Dude, you gotta do what you gotta do. But before we stop, first and foremost, I just have to mention the fact that you sampled my favorite TV show and Friday Night Lights so frequent in the Forget Forever project made me so happy, man.
Dude, HK51 is a dope producer. I found this fool on YouTube, and his beats were just like resonated with me at the time. And when making Too Hurt to Say, they were really like, I used a couple of his beats on there, and they kind of gave the project the emotional feel that it needed. And then on Forget Forever, his work with me kind of transcended into more emotional stuff, like my tracks with Lund, SmrtDeath, and all of those kind of embody way more emotional things than in Too Hurt to Say. So I think that I don't think I'm gonna make a project that's like 2-6 forever or some shit, because I'm not going like a number thing. But I think in those projects, those kind of numeral things in the name worked. But I think the next project that I'm going to be dropping is a project called Just Friends. And I'm not sure if it's going to be a full album or if it's going to be an EP. But I got about 6 tracks done so far. So look out for that.
I didn't even connect with the numerical standpoint until you brought it up. That's crazy that you go from Too Hurt to Say straight to Forget Forever. I really, really like that.
Yeah, I did that on purpose.
Why am I not surprised?
I don't know.
Dude, now, with the 6 tracks that you've just finished too, a lot of that's been inspired recently with the passing of Lil Peep too, right?
Yes. Shout out to Lil Peep. I listen to his music a lot, and I have for a while. And I feel like I related to him more than anybody, honestly. And I feel like a lot of people feel the same too, because he was just so honest and raw in his music. And he embodied somebody that was just so fucking cool, man. Like, I just envy how cool this dude was in a way, and how friendly he was. All his friends say he was super friendly, and it's just so sad that somebody like that was taken before their time. And it's really sad. It's just, yeah, man, it's just really sad.
And I love that you're able to find so much inspiration in, what seems like an extremely genuine person.
Dude, with him gone, like, there's so much shit about to change in the underground. I have no idea what is about to happen. Everything's up in the air right now. There's so many artists coming up. Shout out SmrtDeath, Lil Lotus, Lil Aaron, a lot of these emo underground artists. Shout out Shinigami, shout out Ninetales, shout out Shrimp. There's so many people in this genre now that are influenced by him and so many other variable factors like bands and shit. It's just gonna be crazy to see where emo goes in the next couple of years.
Where would you like emo to go?
I have no idea. Like, I'm an artist that puts their experiences into their music, and then other artists do other things with their music, and I have no idea. I mean, I have definitely seen people embrace being more feminine and more open to embracing emotion in the past couple years, and it wasn't like that before. So I think that maybe we might just become all more equal throughout making music, and we might be able to convey more emotion in the future.
Dude, and as long as there's artists out there who are willing to put everything on the line, like everyone you've mentioned, including yourself, like emo's not only going to remain stable in the industry, but it's going to continue to grow.
Yeah, it's definitely going to grow from a subculture and like a subgenre to a full genre in its own self.
Dude, well, let me tell you, man, you have, whether you realize it or not, you are a big reason why that's going to happen.
Oh yeah, like that's pretty crazy because I don't realize that. Like I'm just doing it from in my room, and then it's kind of like it happens in a cloud.
Dude, I'm telling you, bedrooms are all you need to make this shit happen, because I'm recording with you through my bedroom.
And I'm in my own bedroom, so it's just like, fuck, these labels, they're just trying to make money off of kids in their bedrooms, and it's sick. Like, dude, it's crazy. Like with monetization and stuff, the crazy chunks they're taking and the crazy things that artists have to do. I don't know if you heard, I don't know if, and it might just be a rumor, but there's like all this shit with Justin Bieber and like the cult and shit, and his church is kind of like a cult. And it's crazy because you really need to read up on that shit. Like, but it's crazy because you just hear all the crazy shit people do for music and like to get big, and then you think, I would never do that, and it's just crazy. I don't know. It's just fucking baffling to me.
Dude, I'll have to read up on that, because that sounds extremely intriguing.
Justin Bieber, if you ever hear this, don't be pissed. Okay, I didn't want to reveal your secrets or anything.
Guys, follow Forrest on Twitter at ForeignForrest. Be sure to go on SoundCloud and check out his Little Tim Burton EP with LaDerek. Follow Nick and I on SoundCloud, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram at Back to Back Hip Hop. Thank you so much for listening. Peace out.